About the brutal domestic dispute in East Lincoln, where police say a man ran over and then gunned down his girlfriend in broad daylight. This is the third domestic dispute in Nebraska to end in a homicide this month alone. We wanted to unpack what we know and examine the broader context.
Monster boyfriend here, age 28, ran over, shot and killed his girlfriend here, Michelle Gonzalez, age 21, on February 26, 2025 in Lincoln, Nebraska. Why does this continue to happen? God bless her family. Damn.
A shocking display of violence in Lincoln earlier today brought traffic on 84th Street south of O Street to a screeching halt and put a middle school into secure mode. As law enforcement wrangled with a domestic disturbance that spanned multiple blocks, there's still a lot we don't know. 1011's John Grinvalds has what we do know from the scene.
Tire marks and shredded grass. Some of the wounds from a grisly scene in East Lincoln today, leaving a neighborhood rattled.
I just heard a really loud bang. I thought, what in the world is going on?
This typically quiet neighborhood east of 84th Street becomes the stage for a deadly domestic dispute.
I heard 4 or 5 gunshots, and I knew right away what it was. Phone was right inside the house. I went out, called 911, and I said, we got a car crash with shots fired.
It starts on Sandalwood Drive, where a 28-year-old man hit a 21-year-old woman with his vehicle. Police and eyewitnesses tell us that 2 women, described as Good Samaritans, rushed in to help the woman and got her into their SUV. As they drove away, the man chased after them, crashing into their vehicle, causing it to spin out onto the lawn of a home on Indian Hills Drive. Then, in a harrowing turn, the man fired multiple bullets toward them, striking the 21-year-old and ultimately taking her life.
Certainly wish we had video evidence to watch it all play out, but that's part of the investigation. What we know is our Good Samaritans, our 2 young ladies, were not injured, were struck by gunfire.
When authorities arrived, the man was laying dead on a lawn. They covered him in a sheet.
It's hard to explain. I was shaky. I was kind of sick to my stomach. Very saddened because I knew somebody had died.
We still don't know what exactly the relationship between the man and the woman was. Police tell us only that they were familiar with one another. We'll continue to follow this story as we learn more. Reporting in Lincoln, John Grinvalds, 1011 News.
John, thank you. It's worth pointing out this is the 3rd deadly domestic dispute in Nebraska just this month. Jamie Hagan was killed in Seward a day after filing a protection order against her ex-fiancé. He had bonded out of jail the day before. He's in custody now, accused in her death. And just last week in Clay County, Heather Gray was shot dead a day after filing for divorce. Police believe her husband killed her. He's also been arrested. Of course, these are all cases we will continue. About the brutal domestic dispute in East Lincoln, where police say a man ran over and then gunned down his girlfriend in broad daylight. This is the 3rd domestic dispute in Nebraska to end in a homicide this month alone. We wanted to unpack what we know and examine the broader context. 1011's John Grinvalds is in the newsroom with that story.
Madison, it shattered the life of a young woman in the peace of a Lincoln neighborhood on Wednesday. This follows what we're hearing from experts is a worrying trend, rising domestic violence in Nebraska and in our community since 2021. Police say 28-year-old Ibrahim Al-Hamadani ran over, chased, and shot 21-year-old Michelle Gonzalez to death just hours after she filed a protection order.
That protection order was issued. Unfortunately, that protection order was never served, and we were certainly never able to make an arrest.
Al-Hamadani had a long history of violent crime. 2 women had previously filed protection orders against him. He served prison and jail time on domestic violence charges. And he was actually out on parole when police say he killed Gonzalez before presumably turning the gun on himself. This comes in the wake of the domestic killings of Jamie Hagan in Seward and Heather Gray in Clay County. What support network leaders like Leah Droege and Natalie Roberts-Day say is a rising tide.
It feels very fearful. It feels very almost unprecedented that we're seeing these happen so close together. What we've seen is a response from survivors when that happened, that it's in many ways a moment of clarity for survivors.
Natalie says they've averaged about 70 law enforcement and hospital response calls a month. But this January, that number rose to 90. And Leah tells me Friendship Home is serving 34% more people a year than in 2021.
Unfortunately, this happens every day and much more frequently than I think we realize.
Social isolation, decline of community involvement, and the ending of COVID-era funding that helped survivors get their own homes, all possible causes for the apparent crisis Natalie and Leah named. Reporting in Lincoln, John Grunwalds, 1011 News.
A crucial reminder here, help is available if you or anyone you know is a victim of domestic violence. You can call the phone number there on your screen or simply text the word START to 88788.
Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Please subscribe.